It's just going 2 o'clock in the morning. This is the night after, the same night I filmed Jaws 2. Just took Jaws 2 out of the DVD player, looking for something else. Went to put it back in that flimsy little box. As I opened it, Jaws The Revenge fell out. I was not watching Jaws Revenge, even though I've been tempted with Jaws Marathon. I was even though, I was nah, put it back in, and as I turned it around, it flung out and fell on the floor and rolled away. I was that's a sign. So I'm watching Jaws The Revenge. Oh no. So there's Jaws The Revenge, Prague edition. Can you feel the vibration there? Jaws The Revenge I have on VHS is actually holding the shelf up. So yeah. Okay, so basically I started watching Jaws The Revenge last night and I fell asleep. Halfway through it. So I'm going to try and watch the rest tonight and then do the review tomorrow night kind of thing. So flashback. Me and Jack did the review a couple of years ago and I wrote it down. And when Jack sort of came to do his reviews, he did it. And he did The Departed, and he did Jaws 4, and Jaws 4 became one of my favourites. Obviously, my little action figure pops up in that. And it's a great comedy. I think Jack really pulled it off well. And I want to put my hands up and say I didn't really revisit the movie. I just really remember the film being that bad. And I've obviously seen it quite a lot when I was a kid. And you know, so Jaws 3 doesn't exist in this timeline, okay? So you meant to forget about that. That's why they didn't use Jaws 4 in the title. That's why it's called The Revenge. It was going to be called Jaws 87. Pulling the tagline this time, it's personal, which has been used right across the board. Loads of old movies, sequels, revenge movies. And, you know, it's notoriously known for Michael Caine being in it, getting 1.5 million. You know, missing and picking up an Academy Award. He was like filming in Hawaii for a couple of weeks. Bought a house over it. Lauren Laney, it's her last movie. I think I said her name right. It's her first film in 8 years. So, forget about Jaws 3, don't we? So we've got Jaws Revenge. So it's, you know, Ross Schneider turned it down, even though his picture's on the wall and it's a little flashback, Universal stock footage. I bet he was happy about that. I see ching ching, still gonna have to pay us. But it seems that the idea was for him to get killed at the start of this movie instead of his little son. It's pretty gruesome at the start. It's very dark. It still feels like Amityville, Martha's Vineyard. It still feels a bit dark. In the log, you just see this log floating around, just a random log, and it's like the log of doom. Be careful with the log, it's going to get you. And the shark attack at the start, it's pretty brutal. Loses an arm. It's a Christmas movie. Everyone's singing Christmas carols, and like this guy's screaming. He's literally looking like Georgie from It. You know, he's got the yellow raincoat on and everything. He's lost an arm. It's like Pennywise is now a shark, and then just rips him up. The shark. The boat sinks. Pretty gruesome start. Now straight away at the start, it changes because Jaws and The Revenge comes up, and it's almost like a TV font, and it's bombing around. The camera going up and down in the water, and it totally looks miniaturized. The whole docks and stuff like that. I know it's a very expensive, probably model, but again, it's Universal Studios. It was probably used for all kinds of things. And the real giveaway is there's no movement in it. You don't see anybody, and it just feels like, you know, he's going around hunting down. So the youngest son dies. Richard Dreyfuss was also offered a cameo, turned it down. The mayor, unfortunately, was going to reprise his role, but died before filming commenced, which is sad. And then the little girl in it, bless her, she died the year later, 10 years old. The little girl in this movie, that's something, I mean, I was reading about it today. I'm going to probably try and wing this, actually. I'll try and watch it again the rest of the night and maybe do an outtake of that. But yeah, story gets a bit baffling as the other son, Michael, comes back with his wife and his kid. There's a couple of cameos from the original, and the mother's just got it out for the shark. The shark has fucking came back and attacked it. It's not the shark from, it's not the Jaws from Shark Free Journal. It's not Bruce from Shark. Fuck my life, it's too late. It's not the sharks from Jaws 3D. It's definitely not the shark from the first one. Is this the son of the sharks? I don't know. Anyway, it's personal, remember. She's convinced that the shark is back to kill the entire family. And basically, she decides that Amity is no longer safe. A house is no longer safe. It's not like the shark's just going to go, hello, I know you're in there. I've been waiting for you all these years. I'm just going to go and knock on your door. Hello. You know. And she decides to move to the Bahamas, even though it's filmed in Hawaii-ish area, whatever. And their son's house is right next to the beach, so she's not really doing a disadvantage of it, you know what I mean? America's huge. You've got all these cities. I mean, even if she got an apartment in the middle of Manhattan, I'm guessing she would be safe. But no, she moves there. So she basically hops on, meets Michael Caine on the plane. You know, they basically get to the island. Her son is catching snails and stuff like that with Mario Van Peebles. And, you know, she's just got this obsession that the shark's going to get her. She dreams that the shark's going to get her. Michael Caine's just like, hey, Craftman, Hoagie. I mean, the music as well, it's very, it's got that late 80s, 90s cheese to it. But like a Child's Play thingy going on there. It doesn't have anything like on the originals. You know, they do use the theme sparingly, but it's got this weird little jingle to itself. But then, by the time she's got to the Bahamas, seeing her son's house, the fucking shark's there. And then the late great Richard Jennings, who unfortunately took his own life, he was right. I mean, the fucking shark is the new form of transport. Fucking Concorde. I mean, fucking hell, sharks. Zoom. You know, and it comes along and it's shot in clear water, which obviously warm water makes like the animation look better. I mean, yes, it's a fucking albino shark as well. It's pretty gormless. It's not shy. I mean, even when it just, hello, nudges the submarine, it's like, no shock and reveal. It's like, what are you doing in there? Like, peeking in with its eye. And then goes to Michael quite quickly. Wait, bit my finger there. And he's like, ooh, shark. And then it's pretty much where I got to it last night. Jake was on building his transmitter, and they're going to harpoon the shark, give it a shock, give it a shark roar. Roar. Shark roar. I remember that for Jack. Jack. Shark. Roar. That's the one. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much where I got to it last night. Not many people, the banana boat hadn't happened, that's for sure. But yeah, I think I woke up at one point and the plane was getting it. Just like the helicopter got it in Jaws 2, Michael Caine. But I'll get back to that. Yeah, I'll watch the rest and I'll jump around to it as well. So, in the meantime, I guess I'll just put Jack's review in the middle.
The movie is Jaws: The Revenge. They made 4 of them. Should have stopped at 2. It is an adventure movie. It's a horror. It's a thriller. It's a revenge story. And it's definitely a comedy. The year, 1987. I was 1. It's on for 1 hour and 29 minutes. Directed by Joseph Sargent. Starring Lorraine Gary, Lance Guest, Mario Van Peebles, and Michael Caine. It was a PG. Now it's a 12. Tagline for the movie is, this time it's personal. Sharks have feelings too, you know. Its budget, 23 million. Quote of the movie, shark roar. So, here's a little bit about the movie. The shark is back, hunting the last members of the Brody family. Ellen Brody lives in fear of the shark and the waters. After one of her sons is killed in a shark attack, she was pushed beyond breaking point. Instead of staying away from the water or moving to a city, she decides to move to the Bahamas with her other son. But this shark isn't stupid, and not only did it work out her plan to move, he also beat her to the Bahamas. Get that? Shark faster than a plane? Pfft. No wonder Concorde went out of business. Shark is the new mode of transportation. Fun fact about this movie, Jaws 19, the poster and the hologram appeared in Back to the Future 2. A bonus fun fact about this movie, the third movie didn't even happen. It shouldn't have ever happened. Ever, because the other two were... So, here's my review of the movie. One of the worst bad good movies ever. This movie is that bad, it's a fun watch. But the story makes no sense. No, seriously. But it's far better than Jaws 3. And that is saying something. Jaws is a classic. It's a crime they made more Jaws movies. You cannot beat the original. And to be fair, they didn't even try. It's like they just dropped acid and continued writing, no matter what came out of their mind. Just to cash in, Jaws has such a cult following. Seriously, people even get statues made of themselves wearing Jaws clothes. Check this guy out.
What's wrong with that?
What's right with it? Should you own this movie? No! Should you watch the movie? Only if you've been dropping acid. I'm going to give this movie 1 concert break. It's a comedy. It's not meant to be. I'm Jack Sharp. Thanks for watching.
Okay, that was Jack's little rant review. It's 2:30 in the morning, and you're probably wondering why. Well, it's 2:30, that's why I'm half naked. I've only got my boxer shorts on, I've got my snoozy hat, and I've got some glasses on. Now I have some glasses on this time of night. So, Jaws, The Revenge, see the binocular effect? Yep. Now I get it, it's the Bahamas, but if you got the binocular effect on, when you're looking through your binoculars and you've got sunglasses on, it shouldn't be so light in the edit. Naughty. Right, okay, so it's been a long time since I've actually watched Jaws, and I had it taped off television. I've had the VHS for years and I haven't given much time to the DVD. Probably put it on, fall asleep, and same with never bothered around getting the other free on DVD. And so I put it back on there, and the glasses thing, they'd spotted it, they were shutting it down. Now the bit where recently I've seen it, they've done the whole comparison of CGI and old school, where they replaced the shot, that scene came on where he's just flying along, and there's some clearly bits when it attacks the submarine, you can see the structure underneath holding it up, and that's pretty weak. And even the bit where it crushes through the wall of the boat, where he's hiding there before he does his whole evacuation with the air canister, it crashes through the wall. It's pretty cool with the ladder bends around the shock face, but then you just look to the side and you see all the wires hanging off at the side and all that, all the hydraulics. But so anyway, the shark goes on a little mission, does the whole banana boat thing, and you know, then you go in the last act of the movie after that, you know. And the last act of the movie was proper fucking weird, because basically Ellen Brody's just fucking took the boat. God, I got a proper chill myself. Just seeing that behind us, and just like, it's behind you, it's behind us. It was just this fucking, anyway, it's late, I told you, the witching hour. So anyway, she takes this boat and she fucks right off, and you know, so she takes it there, no plan, no weapons, no grenades, no electrical wires, no gun, no rifle, no air canisters. She just takes the boat. Meanwhile, Jake, and there's a bit of a recap actually, there's a lot of septuagint in this, little recap of him, you know, like doing that, and his daughter's copying what he's doing, and she's like, oh look, I've seen this before, remembering the kid is the one who was dead, and obviously Roy Scheider's now dead. So it was like, right, okay, you've played that, but it's the wrong child who did that. So anyway, he runs down the beach. Jake, I need you. Jake's like, oh wait, so all run off the beach. They get in this little boat. On the way out, they meet Hoagie, Michael Caine, who's just doing his fishing. Now there's a lot of scenes at this point where there's a lot of references of Hoagie and him being a drug smuggler, which was cut from the movie. So there's a couple of references in there. So they get in there, they radio it in, they find her, they see that the shark's coming down, they swoop just down, and she just stands there and she sees the shark, and she's just like, right, there you are, shark, what do you want? You know, and like, how am I going to, I'm just going to eat you. And it's a kind of cool shot as the shark comes out the water, and it attacks the boat as it swoops down, she just stands there, it's just like. So anyway, they crash land the plane, the shark takes out the plane, all three of them get across into the boat. So what's the plan, you know? So anyway, from what I remember as a kid, Mario Van Peebles dies. You know, gets on the edge of it, gives the whole, shoves the light box in the thing's throat. He's like, there you go, light, bzz, bzz. You're going to eat it and eat me. It's a pretty cool shot, you know, of him in a shark's mouth, and he's definitely dead. You know, it's a gruesome death. It's probably the gruesomest death from the movie, away from the first brother at the start of the movie. And anyway, so then it got really weird, like really weird. So so from what I know is this movie was released in America, then they did some reshoots after test audiences in America, alright, so they added additional stuff and refilmed the ending, right? I think it cost about 28 million. So the shark's now got the thing in its chest. He's zapping away. It's going, it's fucking yawning, roaring, You know, Shark Raw is back. And she's heading towards it. It keeps clicking back to Roy Schreiner again with the separate tune. Smile, you son of a bitch, kind of crap going down. Hoagie's trying to actually fucking backhands him. Shut up, Michael Caine. Get this, Carter. Flicks him in the back of the head. And she's heading towards the shark. The shark's just like, meh. And I mean, even the composer and the sound effect guy refused to do a shark roll because he thought it was stupid. I agree with him. So it's some kind of like Looney Tunes audio. That's that Charlie Williams again. It's like, meh. So anyway, she just heads towards it. And like what I remember as a kid, it spears the shark. And the shark just floats down the earth, down to the bottom of the sea, with this fucking big stick stuck through it. It's got fucking harpooned right through here. And it goes down there, and that's the end of the movie. You know, Jake's dead. But the one I've just watched there, I was just like, here we go again. It's a little shot of horrors for me personally. So, as soon as she touches the shark, it fucking explodes. It not only does it explode, when it goes down, it's exactly the same shot from Jaws 1. Because it's even got the fucking bit of barrel stuck in its mouth going down, you think. And it's just like, there's a big explosion. Why does the shark explode? It's like, fucking God knows. And then, after the shark's exploding, you think, that's definitely Jaws. I mean, it's not like a hidden thing, like, they used one of the barrels, apparently, from the original Jaws as a plant pot at the Brody thing. You know, it's like, oh, because they kicked the way back using the barrels. Like, that's a nice inner joke, right? That is clearly Jaws 1's ending. It's like, fucking hell. And then, when they come up, I read about this, there's a lot of blue dye in the water by this point, because this is definitely shot in the back lots of Universal Studios, because the wall is full on Truman Show. It's like, here's some water, that's a wall. That looks like cloud. You got Michael Caine on his boat, and then Mario Van Peebles just floats in. Like, hey Jake, you're not dead. You're not ripped apart. You're alive. And it has a lovely ending. And it's, you know, it's just baffling. You know, I always thought Mario Van Peebles died, but again, that's me just loving the video from VHS because I used to watch it. The one I don't want to pull out because of the shelf. But I'm going to. Hang on. I'm going to hold the shelf up there. Jaws, The Revenge, widescreen version. You know, Michael Caine on the back. Airplane land. It's a 12. So that, to be honest with you, I had it taped off television. So the television version was probably like the version where Mario Van Peebles dies, you know. But yeah, it's sort of weird. Just like, you're dead, Mario. So yeah. But I love Jaws. It's an awesome movie. Should never get remade. It's an iconic movie. The original is fantastic. What they did with the restoration is amazing. It just needs to be seen to believe. It's one of the greatest films ever. That's why I didn't want to go too much a rant, because you just need to see that film and appreciate it for what it is. It's an absolute. It's one of the best movies ever made. And as I said in the review random for number 2, it isn't a bad sequel. I haven't revisited the third one recently, but I've just suffered through Jaws 4. Just like Richard Jennings warned us, when it's fucking 2:30 in the morning, it's probably going on 3 o'clock now, and you're still watching it, and you think, stupid fish. I'll see you in the outtakes. So this is the very end of Jaws, The Revenge. It's really late. I can't think of any other ways to wrap this up without waking my neighbours up as a fucking shark. Richard Jennings' spoof is really funny. Did borrow a little bit for Jack's review, but again, it was a case of like, I just remember Jack, going back to Jack, like, you want to do fast forward reviews? Yeah, definitely. Came over, it's like, on his way, because Jack lives miles away, he was like, what reviews am I doing? Like, you meant to write your own reviews? So like, I was developing Jaws because I wanted to do Jaws all together, as like I'm doing now years later. So Jack just hijacked my Jaws review. So yeah. I would like to see the CGI version, but again, it's a terrible movie. It's like, what the fuck happened? But I need to go to bed. I don't know what I want to watch next. It's definitely not going to be Jaws 3. I'm sorry. I know Jaws 3 too well. Like, literally. Like, I'll quickly go off my version of Jaws 3, right? It's meant to be set after Jaws 2, years later, when Dennis Quaid's in it. You know, it's got the girl from Back in the Future. It's a famous film. It's a big movie. It's supported by SeaWorld of all fucking things. You know, there's, like, see Orca and all that kind of things. and then this sea world which connected to the sea with this big lagoon. It just so happens that this great white shark just wanders in. Now, all the way through the film, it's like shark attack this, the guy gets killed eating the cage. I remember, it's not that long ago since I've seen it, and it literally looks like a shark on a stick. You know, like, you know, like going around the submarine, and there's loads of like the waving under the water. It's like, oh, that doesn't look very good. And it's meant to be in 3D, and like Jaws, there, Jaws 3, around VHS, I know it is. So anyway, it's released on 3D. So anyway, you meant to see this in 3D, like all the way through it. You meant to put your glasses on at certain points. I should have got me Freddy Krueger down, but anyway, keep on ranting. They basically capture the shark. You know, Dennis Quaid capture the shark and his girlfriend and that, and his brother turns up. You know, they do talk about sharks. Ooh, don't go in the water. So if this was nothing to do with the Brodies, it might have been a bit better of a story, you know, because originally it was wrote as a spoof. So anyway, like they get the shark and they're like, right, we've got a great white shark and it's ill, it's nursing in captivity. Like, all right, cool. What do? They go and put it on display, don't they? Because the first great white shark. And like the thing about it is, right, they've got this shark and it's going around this moat, right? And people can actually pet it like it was a fucking tamed fucking stingray. Or like, you know what I mean, where you can just touch it. It's like, that's a great white shark apparently, and it's a killer. It's already killed somebody apparently. And like people are like, oh, look at the sharky. Like literally, Sharky and George, like, oh, no hand. He's just floating there and you think, what the fuck? And then it just keels over and dies. And you think, what the fuck? So anyway, some portrait guys come in and all kinds of stuff. Some pretty big scenes with underwater. I mean, it had loads of potential. It had a lot of potential. The whole like sunken gallery and all that, and then all the tubes underneath water and all that, it had a lot of potential, especially where Deep Blue Sea would have capitalised on years later. And all of a sudden, this big shark is apparently stuck, and then it swims backwards or gets let out. It's just been hiding in a fucking tunnel. So this big shark comes out and everyone's like, fuck. And they're all in this control room, that control room where they're waving, and all of a sudden everyone's just like in slow motion, like, I'm not going to slow it down the edit, but like slow motion, like, everyone's screaming, and you just see this shark, and it's just fucking floating there, heading towards the screen. It's just like, that's it, it's just like there, and it just moves forward, and it's meant to be in 3D, and it's fucking hilarious when you watch it back. It crashes through, smashes up. It's very short after that. I mean, it's set up earlier on that the guy and the grenades, but when it's trying to eat them later on, and like they get the fucking stick, just like, oh, that guy's the poacher. He's been eaten by the shark. He's got a grenade. Let's pull that out, and then the shark blows up. Pretty much Jaws 3, really. Potential's mint. The idea of SeaWorld and the shark. The execution's terrible. The sharks used less and less. Dennis Quaid, you know what I mean? It's weird to see Dennis Quaid in it. Even when they've got the little zoom boats and all that kind of stuff, it had potential. But the shark as well, you know, it just turns up. Right, that's Jaws 3. I'm not even going to fucking bother watching it. I take my hat off and I'm going to go to bed. I've been Stephen Mason. This has been Jaws the Revenge into Jaws 3D along with Jack. Big epic review rant random. What do you want? Random as fuck. Right. Thanks for watching. Good night.